Hi everyone, so I just wanted to update everybody about what's happening. At my last video, I said that the court was giving me difficulties with filing my documents, and I guess there was some kind of misunderstanding about the documents that I served on the other parties. But those issues were clarified, and my documents was properly filed on Friday morning. They did not at the last video I said that they were giving me, I served two different versions. One was the compendium and the other one was just the affidavit. So at the end they just ended up accepting the affidavit and not the compendium. But regardless, they're pretty much the same documents, and so they were sure they were properly filed Friday morning. uh, so that one of the stress is out of the way. Now, I made some videos before that the court has been asking me that I cannot speak about, how they're treating me and how horrible the situation is, the parties that are involved, and so on. That so they're telling me that I cannot, if I tell anybody about their misconduct and their poor treatment against me, that they are gonna try to put me in jail, or they're going to try impose like $10,000 worth of cost on me because I am speaking up against them. And when I asked, when this was addressed in court, it was just like a very brief. There was no documents filed. I didn't really have a chance to review anything. It was like this conversation happened like while we were in the middle of trial. So there was no submissions made. I didn't have an opportunity to look up any law or anything. So anyway, so the law that they are imposing on me is Rule 87, subsection 6 and 8, I believe, of Child, Youth and Family Services Act, where it says that media representatives cannot disclose the name of the child involved in a proceeding, and so on, basically. But so that's the only part. Like, these people are so tricky, and you know that they're very shady people, is when you know that they only showed like the parts of the rule and not the entire rule. So basically, the rule 87, like in the beginning of the rule, like 87 subsection 1, where it says that in this section, media means press, which is newspaper, radio and television. And then it goes on saying that this is regarding criminal proceedings involving children. And then the law really talks about how first, a motion needs to be heard to determine if media should be included in during the trial. And then it says that on a criminal proceeding, a separate hearing should be held where no criminal issues are being discussed, and how what information the media will be able to disclose on their radio, television, or press or whatever, and how many media representatives can attend, and so on. So basically, the entire section of Rule 87 of Child, Youth and Family Services Act applies to media representatives. I'm not any of that. This is regarding my son, and has nothing to I don't work for the TV or newspaper or radio or whatever. So I'm not really sure why she's imposing this law, because it says that if these people violate the order, either they can go to jail or that they can get fined for up to $10,000. I'm not any of those people. I don't work for the media and such, so I'm not really sure why she's imposing this. And I'm obviously not disclosing. This is YouTube. This has nothing to do with TV, press, or television. So I'm not really sure why this is being imposed on me. And nonetheless, like, they're asking to like have the order issued, and making like attempts for us to appear in court and file documents with the court and such, and especially when the law is wrong to begin with. So I'm pretty sure like she's trying to threaten me right now, but like this is extremely wrong. I mean, first of all, if they're going to be imposing any cost on me, could be up to $10,000, that will be serious fraud to begin with, as per section 380 subsection 1 of criminal code, that they're really using a wrong law to try to give them, try to take money out of me, try to give them money. So that's serious fraud, especially when all the parties know that this law does not apply to me. There's several emails and documents filed with the court, so they know, like there's a document, it's called the dispute of an order, that has been sent to all the parties as well as the court staff, so that they know the issues. And then so they're still proceeding with it. And secondly, if they do end up calling the police, I mean, I don't have any good relation with the Toronto police. I've had a lot of issues with them, but their actions would be that they try to help them in like good faith. But any police officer that gets the order and looks at my YouTube or TikTok and looks at these videos where I included all the law, as well as there's like various videos where I actually stated that this law does not, Rule 87 of Child, Youth and Family Services Act does not apply to me, because none of these videos are not being broadcasted in the radio, television, or in the newspaper. I don't really know if people actually still read newspapers, but none of them. This is not any of those platforms. This is my personal social media. Plus, it is violation of Human Rights and Charter Section 11B, for them that I have the right to express my views and opinions about something that I do not agree with. So they cannot impose that. So why they're wasting my time and everybody's time that they're getting paid to appear in court? Again, that is fraud. That this person is making improper orders, resulting in commencement of hearings, commencement of appeals. The police has to review all of these. These are resulting in cost and stress that nobody wants. Like, this is an inconvenience, and turning into this person's action is turning into a liability instead of being any help to anybody. So yeah, and so basically what I was saying is that even if the Toronto police get involved at this point, they can no longer say that they acted on good faith, because there's numerous videos out there already, as well as this one. And all of my YouTube videos has the law stated in there that I am not a representative of the media, and the laws that violates if the Toronto police does get involved. Also, if the other party contacts the Toronto police and tries to enforce an order that does not apply to me, that is actually a criminal act. It's section 140 subsection 1 of criminal code. It's called public mischief. Basically, if you're filing false complaint with the Toronto police to try to arrest somebody or enter somebody's home, or have somebody investigated for a crime that they have not committed, so that is an actual crime. So like I said, I don't have good relationship with anybody. It's been 50 days since I've been even outside my home. But right now this is becoming very stressful for me, that a professional person that supposed to be resolving issues is creating so much issues, that is becoming a liability to everybody, that they have to appear, and this is costing the government most likely thousands of dollars. It's costing me a few $1,000s to have to file documents, notarize documents, do affidavit of service, appear in court in person, um, all of these. And plus, if the Toronto police try to arrest me, that is defamation, harassment under false law that does not apply to me, and in order to violate my freedom of speech as well. So this is a serious crime and serious threat that this person is imposing on me, which I do not take, this person should not be taken seriously at this point. So I am appearing in court tomorrow virtually. Actually, not in court. It's with the clerk of the court to dispute that I do not agree with issuing the order where it says that I cannot speak up about my views about horrible treatment that I received from the court process and their improper actions. Like, I have 100% freedom of speech and rights to discuss all of these. And if these people are at this point desperate to try to keep me quiet, that actually says that there is likely a lot to look into. If they're worried that me exposing all of these will seriously impact whatever it is that they're doing over there. So if nobody was guilty, if they did not commit a crime, they would not be worried about all of this information being exposed, being out there. The only reason they're doing it is because they're most likely committing a lot of crime, and they're worried that that people in the future, more children are being harmed. And anybody look them up, they will find out that these people have done this before, and this is like a way how they run some kind of a business over there, and that they need to be worried about their family and children a lot. So that being said, I'm going to include all the laws and everything for the Crown's attorney and the court or whoever to review in the description, because just in case if it does end up going to criminal court. I actually already contacted, pretty much, I would say, like, I Google search Crown's attorney, and I kind of emailed every single Crown's attorney for Toronto, East, West, North, and Central. So I contacted like every single Crown's attorney and informed them about the parties involved, named the judges that were involved, and all the parties that is involved in this proceeding, and that there is a possibility that fraudulent order may be issued and sent their way that will try to either defraud me or imprison me, and there's a possibility that they're actually trying to frame the Toronto police into good faith or intentional, whatever it is. At this point, it will be considered intentional because all of this information is already out there. So if they review everything and they still act upon it, it's not good faith, it's intentional action. So I'm gonna list all the information below, and we'll see how this works out, and I'll keep everybody updated about all the ongoing threats that I'm going through. I don't know which delusional person in the world thinks that I should continue to be involved with court and court staff, given their actions has been nothing but stress, and fraudulent orders and wrongful laws and threats and fraud. So I'm not really sure who really thinks that I really should be involved in long-term court proceedings, but I'm stuck with this right now, so I kind of have to go through with it and see how they feel on a day-to-day basis and kind of try to just go along with it. But yeah, I'll keep everybody updated about what's happening, how things are going, what they're coming up with, so that everybody knows as well as I, like, all the things that they throw at me, and go from there. Okay, and again, I want to leave Canada. I don't want to live here anymore. Everybody knows about it. Longer I stay with the Justice Department, more videos I make. Hopefully it will start to click in more and more to people that are living in a fantasy world, that, oh, this is nothing, it's something small, whatever, blah blah, it's just this thing, it's just that thing. Like, it adds up to a lot. And all these videos that I'm gonna be making, like, every time, like, I've decided that no more giving them, like, not letting them slide. Like, I'm not saying that I'm going to be, like, I may even, but um the I'm going to be making a journal about everything that I go through with the court, all these videos, so that people can at some day, like, look at all the videos and how often they're made, and all the stuff that I go through, and see that if any stable person should actually be communicating with this organization whatsoever at all. I'm not speaking against, like, any specific judge or any specific court staff. There, a lot of them are actually very nice people, but I it just adds up to a very negative environment for any mentally stable person to be involved in. So, all of these videos I'm going to be making every time I have an issue with the court. This is not to name any specific person. This is just for the purpose of pointing out that how often I'm being bullied or tortured, or wrong orders are being made, how many attempts are being made to defraud me out of money, how many attempts they're being made to violate my rights, my freedom of speech, how many times there are fraudulent orders being made. And for any stable person with the right mind to decide if anybody should be should be involved with an organization like that, if this organization should be seriously reviewed, or if anybody should actually, like, how this organization, like, either try to figure out a way to fix all of these issues, if somebody is ever going to be watching that, or at least kind of determine, like, the quality and the level of their service and their expectations from people, and how they want others to treat them versus the reality of their attitude towards other people. So, a lot of these needs to be determined, and these people need to actually have a really closer look at their actions to see, like, how they're acting versus their expectations of how they want people to treat them. So, all of these these people need to assess all of these things for themselves. But anyway, so if any Crown's attorney, Toronto Police, whatever, you people are watching this, and thinking about arresting me or whatever, look at all the laws that I'm gonna be including in the description. Look at for if there's a complaint that I'm speaking up on the media, on YouTube and TikTok, for speaking up about the horrible process that I'm being put through. Look through Rule 87, subsection 1. The first one, it says, the entire section of Rule 87 applies to press, television, and radio. So, those things don't apply to me. If anything, try to do me a favor. If somebody tries to file a complaint, go and arrest them, because clearly they're trying to harass. ask them if they were sent any document stating to them that these were false laws, these laws don't apply to me. Try to find out from them and the court if I try to dispute the orders, and I inform the parties by email if these were wrong or not. And then if they still go ahead and try to force this, then you really need to address that if they're in violation of Rule 140, subsection 1 of Criminal Code, where they are actually lying and kind of misleading you into coming to my home to harass. And knowing how much law I know, if they're potentially going to get you involved in a lawsuit. So, you need to thoroughly look into that. So, and also make sure anything in relation to me, especially me, I don't know how you deal with other people, but when it's in relation to me, everything, you need to talk to your lawyer about every single law before you come at me for anything, so you can cover your butt. And that if your lawyer told you something wrong, then your lawyer will later on deal with me. At least you will have your email communications that your lawyer told you something otherwise. So make sure that you do not come to me, regardless of the complaint, without thoroughly reading the entire page, entire section of the law, because these people intend to just use cut off little versions so that you don't know what the other part says. So that's all. Bye.